Okay, here we are on March 2nd, and this whole thing must be over. This whole coronavirus, I guess, is over because the stock market went up. It was like 1,200 points today, and it looks like it wants to go up even further. Um, Oil is up 6%, so I guess everybody's using oil again. Um, so it's all over, I guess, right? Well, I don't think so, because if you go, what was it, over here, it shows that they only tested the CDC has only run 500 tests so far. They've only confirmed 500 tests. It says 3,600 people have been tested so far. 500 tests have been confirmed. And now they're just now sending out these 75,000 tests over the next week. And over the next few weeks, I think you're going to go from thousands, or where we are now, like 90 people or whatever it is, to thousands. And let me see what else is going on here. Now it says CDC lab for coronavirus test kits may be contaminated. So the lab that's doing it, like, this is all just completely botched. So we have no idea what's really going on. Yet the stock market went up 1,200 points. And to me, it's not even that. It's just, supply chains are going to be affected. You know, when the automakers got the bailout back in 2009, I thought it was interesting because they made the case that something like 10% of all companies are interwoven with the auto market. So if the, say, GM and Chrysler had gone out of business, you would have seen a cascading effect that would have brought down the economy, brought it to a collapse, right? It would have been really bad. But this is like, in China's the second biggest economy in the world, and they're the factory of the world. It's like the majority of all the goods. There's little pieces and little things. It's not like, oh, okay, now we can't get a Timex watch from China. Big deal. It's not that. It's the little components. So like you might have a little piece of plastic that is made in China, or a little electronic component, and then that gets shipped off to Vietnam, where it's put in something else, and that little thing is put into a a car radio that's assembled in Mexico, and then that car radio gets put in a Honda that's built in somewhere in the United States, or assembled in the United States. So now if you are missing that one little component, it causes a cascading event. So I don't think it's going to be a good thing. I mean, I'm not saying it's the end of the world, obviously. I'm just saying it's probably going to cause a recession. And I wouldn't be buying into the stock market for a while. I think it's going to go down a bit more before it goes up. I think you're probably going to see a recession. And then you're going to also see job cuts. You're going to see a bad economy. You're going to see the price of gas collapse because nobody's using it. You're probably going to see some shortages here and there. So I think over the next few weeks, this is going to be the events that happen over the next few weeks. I think this week probably not that much is going to happen. I think the stock market might go up. I think it might go down. It might float around all over the place. But as the cases start to come in with all these kits that are becoming available, you're going to see start to see school closing. You're going to see people talking about people not going into work. You're going to hear about people firing people because they're trying to run, bare bones. The companies are going to try to run bare bones, and they're not going to have as much business. They're going to. I mean, if you're working at a movie theater, you can imagine that they would. They're not going to need as many people because people aren't going to be going to the movies. So it's just a lot of things that are going to cascade, and it's going to cause a recession. But I mean, and then so I think then once there's like acceptance, like, oh, that's going to happen, probably by the summer, by May, you'll start to see a decline in cases. It'll start. You'll see this huge thousands of increases. Like in April, it'll probably be like it goes up 1,000 cases a day. But then once you get to May and June, you'll start to see that decline as it gets warmer. It won't be as bad. You're not going to see an overwhelmed healthcare system because the flu's gone. It's going to get better. And then you'll finally start to see a rebound, maybe. But you have to also remember that the earnings come out like in March and April for all these companies. So like in April, you get the earnings, and they're going to see that these earnings have gone down. Actually, I'm not exactly sure when the earnings come out. I think it's April because they came out in January, I believe. So it'll be like 3 months later. So you're going to see a recession, but the recessions are always declared way after the fact. If you remember, the recession that happened in 2008, 2009, actually supposedly started in December of 2007. So by the time they actually declare a recession, it'll be way after the fact. And also, unemployment is lagging too. So usually, you don't see people losing tons of jobs until like the end of the recession. That's when like the most of the job losses happen. So, um, I don't know. I wouldn't be buying the stock market. I think there are so many people right now saying, "Well, it's over. It's done." It's like, how can you say it's done when there hasn't been anybody tested for it? You're going to see what's going on in other places around the world. I want to show you this graph right real quick before I end. Um, this is the John Hopkins tracker. They're tracking it. Here is other locations not including China. It's an exponential curve. There's no slowdown whatsoever. Completely going straight up. And this is not even the end of the day. You're not going to have the end of the day for a few hours. So this is going to keep going. There's no decline. It's going to get much worse. So whatever you thought was going to happen, it hasn't happened yet, is my point. So, yeah, it's going to cause a recession. They're probably not going to call it a recession until the end of the year. And, yeah, that's about it. I'll make more videos about it later.